Believe. Become. Be great.
What is cracking, baby? I am your host, Derek DeLeon, and welcome to Peeling Back the Greatness. That's right. Episode 20, baby. We got 4 episodes left. We got amazing episode that we have yet to have. So, sorry for all the inconvenience. That episode was supposed to air, but we're going to have it to you ASAP, I promise. So, shout out to everybody here. I got a special guest with me today. You guys are all familiar with her. You guys have seen her with doing some nonprofit stuff with Goddess Nations. She's with Thrive Tribe, doing her thing with photography. By the way, if you guys ever need business with photography, I can tell you right now, she's the one. She's a vice president on Generational Opportunities with myself. And then shout out to Brandon, Aaron, Chubbs, Elijah. She is a phenomenal person. Very elected speaker. I love her message and what she really lives for, and what she represents is definitely empowerment of women, of the youth, and she's definitely somebody to look up to. Very inspiring. I have to give a shout out to my sister and my best friend, Queen T. Tab Rodriguez.
That was a wonderful introduction. How do I go based off of that now?
Say something nice.
Okay, well, I'm Queen T. Everybody knows who I am. This is me. Yeah, thank you for that introduction. I actually took everything that you said about me and I'm doing something different now with that. So I'm trying to take life slowly for myself, trying to intake everything that everybody has to say about me. So I was listening to everything that you just said, and I didn't really understand how marvelous and miraculous that I am. And you made that very visible to me today. So I applaud you for that.
Of course, and you're like that. Again, you're with that with everybody. Everybody feels the same way. I mean, there's a reason why you're such a phenomenal piece to people's lives, and especially when it comes to, to really becoming a leader, being, especially to Emma, right?
Yeah.
Even to my daughters, you're somebody that a lot of people, especially the youth, that really look up to, because at the end of the day, what we do, being in this field, is it's not always easy, and you know this.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's a struggle for sure.
There's a lot of crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest things to me is definitely, the system. And that's a conversation that I know you and I have a lot. Me and Brandon have a lot. Me and Aaron. I mean, there's a reason why we have this nonprofit.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it's catering to the youth. There's a reason why it's really tailored to those who may be struggling at home, who may be struggling, that are not mentally in the right space, and maybe they don't even realize it, right? I feel like a lot of the youth they really don't even realize that they're in a bad headspace. Mm-hmm. They feel fine, they feel okay, but they don't recognize that, I'm really not right. And also, I do want to give, I want to give a shout out to Nikki, because she's an advocate for men's mental health, right? Yeah. Something that I know that I don't think I've ever seen, I don't think I've heard before. So I do want to give that shout out, because mental health in general is very important, right? With the way that mental health is, it can really push us off into a different direction, or if we are influenced by the wrong things, which are portrayed the right things. Yeah. It could really derail us from the task at hand. There's a lot of different things that I know. Like I said, when it really comes to the system, one thing, I'm gonna let you have the floor here in a minute. So, one thing when it comes to the system that I do want to let the people know is a lot of people do, when they hear about the system, they hear about the matrix and they hear about all this stuff. I've never been one that has been involved with any of that. I really never cared. I really just went about my day, or went about my business, went about whatever it was I was doing. So now, being on this side and really understanding a lot of that shit that now makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Again, the matrix to the average person sounds silly. The system, again, we hear a lot about the system, and what it is the system is designed for us to fail.
Yeah.
It is set up for us to fail because if it wasn't, everybody would be doing fine. Everybody would be in a much better spot financially, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And so I really want to dive into more about what is the system, what does that look like, what have we witnessed, right? Because I'm in a place where I want to give anybody and everybody an opportunity.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean for people to fuck off. I mean with the people that are really ready to go, the people that really have something that are like, look, I'm ready to make a fortune. I'm ready to do this. Like seriously ready, not just, well, I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to do that. I'm a little lost. I don't really know where to go. Just be ready to work, right? That's my biggest message. If you feel lost, you don't know where to start, that's fine. Just be ready to work because the system, like I said, the system ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah.
It really ain't gonna do shit for you because I know it has done shit for me. Yes, it got me to a certain spot to where I'm like, okay, I feel good, feel fine, but now I'm really starting to understand, especially because you have Emma, I have the girls, so anything that I could do to prevent my daughters from having to fall victim to that nonsense and the system and working for somebody else and going and making 13, 14, 15 bucks an hour, like 80-hour weeks. I mean, like I said, I know I paid my dues doing that. You paid your dues doing that. There's a reason why we're here today. There's a reason why we're doing what we're doing. And I gotta say, thanks to our Lord and Savior, because without him, none of this would be possible, right. Especially recognizing this stuff, So again, I want to kind of dive into it. So I want to get your take, and then I want to really get your your thoughts on some of the things that you may have witnessed, or let's get it cracking. What do you think? What's your take on it, Tab?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, I agree with everything that you say, and what you admire most about this, because I think it's, I'm going to be honest, it's fair to say that, the world is corrupt. We all know that. Every day, what are we all doing on a daily basis? I mean, what are our parents doing? What are our elders doing? What are people doing in general? They're always watching the news. And the thing is it's so negative, right? But that's where we all come into as a group with the nonprofit, you as an individual, myself as an individual, Nikki, for instance, who you gave a shout out to, especially for mental health for the men. Generational opportunities carries on the youth. Me, I'm doing women empowerment, not only for the youth, but I'm also doing it for our younger generation. I'm doing it with, all age groups. I'm looking at everything from kids to middle school kids, to high school kids, to kids in college, and to women, you know what I mean? And not just that, but I'm looking at the younger youth of itself too when it comes to generational opportunities. The world is corrupt, and the only way that we're going to fix this is if we work together. And that's the way I see fit. We can't just write a letter to the president and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts on it? He's probably going to put it in the back of the pile and say, it's nothing important because I have bigger things to fry. And I agree with that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, you're going to disagree with me when I say that, but there is a reason why we all are in this system, because we're supposed to follow it. For instance, in an example, I'm going to put your take on this too. Military. Everybody knows that military, these men and women are in there to do one thing and one thing only. And what is that? To serve our country.
Right.
That is their mission. That is their position. That's how they're going to execute what they need to, right? Mm-hmm. Well, look at mothers, look at fathers, look at brothers, look at sisters, look at friends. We all have titles, and we have titles for a reason, because we have to do that. But what if we kind of dissected it a little bit further in, right? What if we said, wow, there's so much more to us? If we really took in what our hobbies are, so many of us have so many things on social media. But yep. What I really admire most about Derek here is he uses social media to the extent of how it's going to be a resource for the people. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be a negative resource for the people.
It's a great resource. I'm going to say this real quick.
Yeah, no, go for it.
It's a great resource, but it's also it's different if you're not in the field, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so the way I use it, like what Tab's talking about, is I use my Instagram for my work, right?
Yep.
And I
Portfolio.
cannot tell you, I swear, my Instagram has never failed me. When people want to know what I'm doing, because sometimes it does kind of get annoying to have to like it's not one specific thing I do. It's like, yeah, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do
Yeah.
this. So what I say is I'm in the media and entertainment field. I do everything. And then like earlier, right? I was showing forgive me, I forgot her name. But I was showing these ladies earlier my Instagram. I said, I do everything. This is my work. My Facebook is my announcements. They asked for my business card. I gave them my business card, so I showed them my personal website.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys want any work done, here's where, like, the flyers, the everything, and so like I said, what you're talking about is using it for the right reasons, and not everybody really does that either.
But it's because we're all, if you think about it, nobody really does it because nobody's ever shown that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why men grow up understanding and knowing that it's not okay to cry. You have to be a man. You have to do this. Women do the same thing, right? It's because we're all taught what to do within that title. That's why the military, a lot of people, and trust me, a lot of them in the military would probably disagree with this statement, and that's okay. You can disagree with me, but it's just what I'm seeing and what I'm not liking, and that's why I'm perceiving the world at a different spectrum, and they, a lot of people call them killing machines. These are people. They're not just killing machines. They're here to protect you and protect our country.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the president, like I said earlier, of course he's going to put whatever off to the side because he does have bigger fish to fry. But if we came in like the community that we're supposed to be, we can't just defend and sit there and say, oh, well, it's the president's job. You guys are all bickering and arguing about political, this, all the Democrat, like all of it. Why? When you yourself could be doing something about it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like the system, right? We see that it's corrupt, it's crucial, it's negative. So what did we do as a team? I'll tell you what my team did, and this is my team. This is who I stand by on a daily basis. I stand with you. I stand with everybody that comes our path, with generational opportunities, with the women empowerment that I'm beginning to start, a big platform for, because we have to start somewhere. Yes. And I'm not saying that we want millions of dollars for this and this. No. I want the community and I want the people to serve a purpose. And I want any of you who are listening, if you feel, no. You are beneficial. You are beneficial. You're a human. You're here, and you are crucial to this world. Mm-hmm. You have a purpose here, and that's why you're here on this world.
Yeah, everybody plays a part.
Yes, you play a part by showing everybody what we all do, by introducing us to people we've never thought, by clicking on their profile, learning who they are in social media, and getting in contact with them, and this is why I'm out here talking to women, talking to many of you as to why I feel this way, because it is corrupt. I'm seeing little kids going to school and not even being able to be kids, because so many teachers and so many parents and people who have opinions want to put all of this dark stuff on, on their heads. But the thing is why can't you just let kids be kids? Let them grow up. Let them think for themselves when time is right. I get it. We're parents and we want to do the right thing, but the right thing would be letting them grow up and be kids.
And here's where things get crazy, and I'm about to make a reel out of this one. So the reason why kids aren't allowed to be kids is because the parents aren't even being parents.
Yep.
Right? So the parents aren't even taking it upon themselves to be able to commit to the kids. But what happens is you have parents who they'll go and spend their whole weekend partying.
Yep.
And then the kids. And then they'll post the kids. And then they'll say my kids, my everything. And then they'll again, it's one of those, okay, this is what it appears to be, but if I went to your house right now, what would it look like?
Exactly.
What would everything be?
And once again, it all falls down into that generational, the generational tragedy that we all follow, right? Well, your mom and your dad did this, or your parents were never together, never married, so why, broken homes, this and that, drugs, alcohol, electronics, all of this stuff. Like, it's a huge thing for people to follow into. That's where kids come in, because parents are doing the same thing, right? Well, look at our system. Look at the way cops are letting people get away with things. Look at the way the justice system is letting people get away with things. The one thing that I can't stand and that I'm firm on, and it really does irk my nerves, and this is actually something I did want to talk about too, because for instance, look at all the homeless we have here in Denver. And not just in Denver, but in other states too. I mean, it is awful. These people, and the saddest part about it is that the more you look at the homeless now, look at how young these kids are. I mean, you have kids as low as 14, 13 who are homeless. And, you know, when I lost my apartment, I was in and out of the streets too. Like, I had to deal with that. And we didn't have anywhere to go. We had to ask family, friends if we could stay with them until we got an apartment. You know, and that was rough. Having to be a mom and have a baby and no home to go to was rough for me. And I'm looking at my kid, but I can tell you this, every day I prayed, like you said, if it wasn't for the Lord, I wouldn't have what I have today. And so I prayed to him every day, and I looked at Emma and I told her, don't worry, I'm going to find you a home. That's what I kept telling my daughter every day. And I did that for 30 days, for a whole month, until an apartment called me back. But what I notice is we have no resources for them, and nobody's willing to even overlook that. They'd rather, you know, tell them, oh, go fend for yourself. They're going to go use drugs, and they're bringing it to the playgrounds. They're bringing it onto the streets. They're bringing it to actual, you know, public places where other kids might pick it up and stick it in their arm too, because they're seeing other people doing it. I mean, look at the thousands and thousands of kids that are over here on 16th Street, right? These kids are sagging their pants, being just belligerent and doing their own thing. And I've noticed it. Kids are being kids.
They want to fit in. They feel like
they want to fit in.
That's, you know, and I'm going to say this while we're on this topic. That is the closest the closest that they feel to the people that they love, right? The celebrities, the rappers, like
drinking, partying,
all of this stuff, right? You wrap this up all into one: the drinking, the partying, the drugs, everything.
That's why they're drinking and driving.
It's the closest thing that they can get to their favorite people, and that's the most, like, you want to talk about a corrupt system. You want to talk about 97% of the world not even being free thinkers, being able to wanting to follow that. You know, like that's one of the main reasons. That's one of the main reasons why the youth is guided in the wrong direction.
Exactly. And I agree
we don't
with that.
even have a system that backs it up. Like, not even the educational system, not even, like, nothing, right? The work system definitely is not going to do it, let alone the educational system. Like, the educational system, it's the factory for obedience. You know, it's not even there to. I get it. It's some kids, I should say a lot of kids, they probably rather be in school, depending on the environment, right? If they come from a broken home or whatever, a lot of kids, that may be their peace or whatever. I know for me personally with my daughters, and I know, like, I may catch heat for this. It's not a big deal whether they do graduate or not. It's really not, because I know what the school system is. Yep. I know the way that we're trying to adapt, you know, and we're slowly going to get there where we can actually teach the youth about finances, about investments, you know, life skills, all the leadership skills, you know, the things that really genuinely are going to push the youth to be better people. Because
or as to why you have a place in the world. That's why we create workshops, right? So, I mean, that's what the Circle of Greatness is all about. That's why we're a part of it, and that's where we begin, me, you, and everybody else who's a part of that. Not just that, but generational opportunities, you know, with Aaron and Brandon, and with Chubbs and yourself, and, you know, of course, me. But we create workshops, and we're on the path. We know what we're doing. We're writing it all down. We're putting our steps into what we want to lead with. And, you know, even a couple months back when we went down to MEC and we were helping out some kids and we spoke in front of them, I didn't realize how many of those kids I actually touched, and every single one of them talked to me. And they said, you know, Tab, your story was very inspiring, and I really look up to you. And a lot of the girls and some of the boys were like, I would love to stand by you when you're talking to a crowd of people, because they wanted to be present with me, because they believed in what I said, because of what I said came from the heart. And I do stand by it. I do stand by every woman that's struggling. I stand by every kid that's struggling. I know what that looks like when you're in a broken home, or when you're in a generational trauma that doesn't you feel alone, you know, or some of you women who have been dating men that are not good for you. I know what that's like. I've had many relationships where these broken men, and I even, believe it or not, yeah, you were there. I mean, you've been with me for 7, almost 8 years. Like, you have been at every step of the year of that, and you've been at my worst. You've been at my best, and we're still going, and we're not done yet, right? But this is why we create workshops and we create resources, because we feel the significance that we want to break it. Because I want, and this is where I stand too. I can't really speak for the rest of my team here tonight, but like what I want to talk about is, you know, we create the workshops for a specific reason, because there's many kids out there who are just broken, and there's younger generations who are, you know, like us, that are in their, you know, their 30s, their 40s, and have nowhere to go, because they were never taught that. Their parents never taught them that. Parents never really taught you about finances. Parents never really taught you about what a loving relationship looks like. Parents never taught you, there's certain things. But what if you're a yoga instructor, or you're a financial advisor, or you know so much about how to find this and that, and you know how to get grants here, or you know how to go to this school and apply here, and you have connections with this person. If the world were to come together and be a community like we're set off to be, then imagine how much more stronger we would be as the people. And I mean that, you know, when I say we the people. Because if we did work together like we're supposed to, I mean, hell, there would be so many things that we could delegate off of this, so many resources, so many workshops. I mean, the things that we're trying to move, what if you could be a part of that? What if you're listening and you're watching me right now, and you know who you are, because I know you're watching. You have a place. You're smart in something. You may not be as strong in something else, but what if your partner or the people that you're about to talk to is stronger in that suit? But there's something you're strong about and you're passionate about. You're strong in it, and you can bring it to the table, and it would help probably thousands of people who have had trouble with that specific topic, whatever it is.
Yep.
You know? So that's what I feel needs to happen. And today in society, what I would love to see is, instead of them putting more people on the street, whether they're young, old, or whatever, I mean, you have veterans on the street that are as old as God, and just using drugs, and they're giving it to our kids. But the way I see fit, there's so much money in this world. There's so much money in this world. What if we came together as a community and we talked to government, and we talked to other places, and there might even be places like that now, but what I'm saying is, get them off the streets. Stop killing our youth. Stop killing, you know, the elders. Stop doing this and that. Take care of our people, because that's what we're supposed to do with each other. God and Jesus taught us the same thing. If you read it in your Bible and you hear it all the time at church, it's the same thing. We shouldn't be hatred towards our people. We should love our people. Love thy neighbor, right? We got to love each other. So we need to take care of each other. And I stood by this at one point too, and I'm kind of glad that I wanted to bring it up and talk about it. But I thought it would be really cool for the city, or even me, or anybody, to come up with a plan to where we build apartment homes for the homeless. And what that looks like is, if they want a house, you're going to go out, you're going to get a job. You're going to do a drug test every day. If there is even an ounce of drugs in your system, you're going to go walk it off. You're going to go to a center, and you're going to get clean.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep doing it. No matter what it is, you're going to keep doing it. Because if you want a place in this world and you want to get past that, and there's ways to do that, you know, whether it's kids. I mean, look at kids who are being emancipated right now. I actually spoke to a little girl too. She was going to emancipate herself as well from her parents. She was going to be turning 17, I believe. And this is one of the girls at MEC that we had went to. And she had spoke to me. And it really broke my heart, because I wanted to open up my home to that little girl. You know, her parents didn't love her the way that she wanted them to. And she's like, I am falling really strong, and I just believe that I don't need to be there no more, because they don't want me no more. And I think it would be better off if I'm just by myself. And I said, I understand that. I know where you're coming from. Sometimes you do feel alone. But I told her, you're not, and I'm right here. You know, and I did offer my home. I did tell her, if you need some space and you need some time to you know, just come and let me know, and you can come sleep over at my place. But we have so many kids where they feel alone. They do. And that's why and I'll be honest with you, it starts all over again. That's why a lot of these kids use drugs. That's why a lot of these kids are in gangs, because a lot of the gangs are going to sit there and cater more to them. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a lot closer with my friends than I am my family. And I hate saying that, but as I'm getting older, I'm reconnecting my family ownership with my, with everybody. And I'm gaining that relationship back with everybody. But I'm being as honest as I can. A lot of these kids are in gangs because these gang members, and I'm being honest when I say this, they do care for each other because that's all they have, right? And that's why they're there. That's why there's gangs, because that is their family.
That's their
safe haven.
Their peace, their safe haven.
And, and they got each other's backs. Well, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But there's kids that are getting emancipated, breaking into wrong relationships with people, even for themselves when it comes to the system, when it comes to society, even when it comes to jobs, and this is why I think it's so important. And I would love to see a system where we're taking in that youth and we're taking in the elder people, the veterans, and we're taking care of them. But just like God tells us too, if I take care of you, you have to put in the work. They have to do that too. You can't just come in here and think that it's a free-for-all. You get your job, you get your paycheck, this is what you get.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I think that should be the system. And we have so many financial advisors, they can disperse that money when they get their check. Yeah. You're going to pay your rent, and this is the money you have left over to use for yourself.
Yeah.
I think we need systems like that where we're paying attention and helping each other. And I think that we would be a phenomenal world with no homeless on the street. People would feel a lot safer because there's no drugs or needles being, put on the playgrounds for their kids or just on the sidewalk for their dogs. And you know what I mean? Just simple things like that.
Yeah. And I think I love everything you said there too. And on top of it, I agree. Yeah. We should do something about really giving to the people that really need it, because there is a difference between people that continue to abuse versus people that are like, no, I really I need something.
I need help.
And like I said, this one of the things too, because our even our work system is very corrupt. It's like it's modern slavery is what it is, right? Because people trade time for money. Everything's going up besides for wages. I mean, everything.
Exactly.
Everything's going up besides for wages, and you're, even then, even the raises, like, we're still rewarded for being obedient, right? That's what we're taught. Like, I remember, I can't remember who, it might have been Myron Golden or even Bedro Schooling maybe, that said, the school system, it teaches you how to be obedient, teaches you how to raise your hand, ask for permission, it teaches you how to take breaks and to be limited on the breaks. I mean, the way it was said, the whole school system is exactly what it's like in real life.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that makes it tough too, because you and I have both been there. 96, 97% of the world is there. You have that 3, maybe 4% of the world who is business owners, who does own property and businesses and land and everything. One thing I know for a fact that I want to be one of those that's like, obviously not everybody's going to want to be an owner, but I also, my biggest thing in the middle of being an entrepreneur is I want to do right by the people, right? So that means getting them out of, don't go look for somewhere that you're going to get paid what you're worth. Go look for something that's going to give you an opportunity without spending 50, 100 grand to go to college, to only learn from somebody who's making 50 grand, only to go to work to pay off your debt. No, I know for me, I want to be able to try and reevaluate that, and I want to try and rewrite the system in that way. And I know the team that has it backed up, because again, that's ultimately we're all going after that youth. I feel like we're really trying to save the youth in that way. Like, we're really, really trying to save the youth, right? And the more we can save the youth, the more that they can grow up and understand that, oh shit, this is different. Oh, this is, because it's like I said, I really don't care if the girls graduate or not, because I know the stuff they're learning. I mean, the stuff that I know, the stuff that I learned in school, it didn't get me nowhere. No. Everything that I'm involved in, it came from learning from different mentors, learning from different people, learning from the people who are actually doing stuff with their life.
And that's what I tell you all the time. Learning is it's an everyday thing. This is not just something new. I mean, you've heard that saying almost all the time. You learn something new every day.
Yep.
We network with people every day. And it's funny because the many times that I've actually traveled with Derek and we've met people, we have learned something significant. I mean, there's a purpose for it, right?
Go ahead. I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is we learn so much because it's a resource. It's resourceful. And that's why I'm saying, imagine what younger kids, if they want to do something, imagine what they can teach us. They're already teaching us what to do. That's why we need workshops. They're teaching us that we need to care more. And that's what we're doing. We're caring more by making workshops, by being there for them, by talking in front of them, letting them know where we can use their help, having them come in on some of these, not just meetings, but some of the events that we have that we do as a nonprofit, but having them be there and organize it alongside of us, because I'll be honest with you, you can't do everything by yourself. And I'm sorry to say this, even though not a lot of people agree, but whether or whoever our president is, our president can't do everything on their own. They need help from the community. They need help from the people, their people, the people that they're standing up for 99% of the time. And I don't agree with everything. I don't. I really don't agree with everything. But I will say this. I do agree that we are not alone. We are a system. We are the people. We should stand together. This is a brotherhood and a sisterhood that we need to make firm on that platform. And you have to love your neighbor, whether, there's something going on or there isn't. But just be there, help them. And I can't even tell you, there's so many people who have helped me over the years. Like when I was in trouble or whatever the case may be, when it came to money, when it came to housing, when it came to my daughter, when it came to my work, like whatever it was, I have so many people behind me because they all care. And that's why they're helping me, because they genuinely care about me. And that's what we should be doing for each other, is making sure that we're taking care of what needs to be taken care of, because something the president's not really worried about, he can't really see, or they can't really see, but we see it. So what can we do to help make that a better place? Yeah.
Well, and a lot, and on top of it, not the whatever, the politics and all that shit is not. It's not going to play into everybody's favor. See, if we as a human race could come to our consensus about that and understand that, even though I'm pissed off and that doesn't, that's bullshit. Guess what? Oh well, there's a million other people that it does apply to.
Exactly. You could be a Republican and I could be a
versa.
Democrat, but we could agree on something that we actually care, the youth, right?
Yeah.
And that's what brings us together. So it's like we're believing in different things, and the thing is we're believing in the wrong things, because why? Social media. Once again, the negative society that portrays a lot of images within our youth, in our world, in our society. And we're supposed to, because let me tell you, once again, we're configured to sit here and look at all of that to a point, to a spectrum.
Yeah.
We need to bring it back a little bit and be like, okay. And I tell people all the time, the news can be beneficial, but how beneficial? Compared to, and I'm not going to lie to you, people always laugh at me because I have like 3 TVs in my house. I have no cable in my home. You want to know why? Because I'd rather go outside on my balcony and enjoy the noise. And what I mean by that, the wind, the birds, just everything, nature.
Plus, we read,
go to libraries.
We do so much anyway, so we do need that piece, and
it's amazing.
And I do believe that, I mean, obviously, if the government were to really genuinely help the kids, the youth, the government wouldn't have any money. See, they keep us. They keep the youth in that cycle and that make-believe, right? That, go to college, get a degree, do this, do that, you could go, and I've said this, I'm sure people are probably getting tired of hearing this, but, you could go do whatever you want. Follow your dream. Live your dream. Do what you want. Okay, well, did you follow your dream? You didn't follow your dream. How the fuck you want me to? I right now, yes, I am following one of my dreams, but I'm also providing the dream for my daughter. See, that's the difference, because we can't expect of our kids what we aren't willing to do ourselves. So if we didn't follow our dream, but our kids have a dream, how can we commit to that?
Yeah.
Don't just, I believe in you, I know you could do it. No, they're fucking kids. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to change that? What are you going to do so then they can follow their dreams?
And they can be kids and think what they want
how
to
can
do.
how can they do what parents could never do? You know, and again, I don't say that to sound ignorant, but I really want to make a point to a lot of people that, hey, again, we all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Yep.
We all have the same time.
What are you going to do?
You know, do you go to bed early or do you go to bed late? Because if you do one or you do either or, you have time. So don't tell me you don't have time, because you go to bed early or you go to bed late, you have time.
Yep.
You know.
Everybody has the same amount.
So my question I wanted to ask you though, so kind of dialing it back to the networking and stuff, who would you say the most important, especially throughout this whole process, who do you think the most critical and important person that you have met that maybe either deserves the credit or that clicked for you, like, I can't do this? Do you have somebody in mind? Because I know I do have one.
Wow. It's kind of crazy that I'm, but believe it or not, it's a mix between two people. And I'm going to have to say my daughter. My daughter is probably my biggest motivational piece when it comes to a lot of things, because I've realized how I've treated her in the past and how I'm treating her now. And, she motivates me to do more. And I look at her every day, noticing that I'm a mom who didn't really believe in myself, right? I was scared. And I was like, I don't know what this mom thing consists of. So I'm just like, well...
kind of rolling with it.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you're pregnant. You're about to have a kid, so...
what's next?
Yeah. I'm like, do I have this thing? Like, what? So it's just those things. But every day that I look at her, she always does things to surprise me, and it shows me that this kid cannot grow up in a world thinking that everything is bad. And I don't ever want her to think that. I want her to know that there's more to this world. She just has to follow that she can be the change that she needs to be, because I'm doing it too. And it's not going to come easy to anybody. We all know that. It's never going to be easy, but it's what we make of it. It's how we react to the situation, right? So I want her to understand that whatever she plans on doing, do it to your most full potential. Do it to the best of your knowledge. And I'm not writing on my kid, I'm not going to sit there and tell her, oh, this, because she needs to be a kid. I want her to have fun. I want her to enjoy herself and hang out with her friends and be the character that she is, because she is a little mini me. And if she sees what I do, and that's why today, we had a little get together at Dr. Silva's house for, his foundation tomorrow.
Shout out to Doc.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
She was funny because now that we're speaking this is why I'm bringing her up. She and actually Dr. Silva is the other person. When I met this man, I felt very intrigued. So seeing him and her together in a room made me feel like, wow. So today it was like a big moment for me, because my daughter didn't even know that I helped out the youth. I never thought it was that important to even tell her, right? Until one day we were talking about it, and she goes, wow, Mom, she goes, I didn't know that you do that stuff for kids. And I said, yeah, like, I didn't think nothing of it, but I had a big, deep conversation with my 9-year-old. And
that's what I feel like I need to have with the girls.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really registered to them either. I mean, but again, we do so much shit out in this.
We just don't.
We were in like 3 different industries.
Because we don't even know. So when I had that big, deep conversation with her, she goes, well, I'd like to help you. That's when it clicked. And I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm talking about. I need to be showing her the steps that I'm taking to help the youth so she understands, right? Because I want her to know. And now, I mean, I can't even tell you, ever since that conversation, every Sunday that we go to church and every Saturday night that we go to church, she takes money out of her own piggy bank and she gives back to the church. And she's a sweet kid, you know, she does it, and it blows my mind how amazing she is. When we go to the grocery store, she helps little old ladies with their stuff, and she'll literally help them. Like, she goes, Mom, they need help. I'm like, okay, well then let's help them.
Yeah.
She helps me a lot too, tremendously, with the home, you know, doing the dishes,
She's
helping
going
with my
up.
dogs.
She's
She
getting older.
is.
She's getting older.
And it's starting to click. And today, it was the cutest thing, because when we woke up, I had asked her, I was like, you're coming with me, right? She goes, yeah. She goes, yeah, I want to see what you do. I want to help. I want to do good, Mom. And I said, okay. So she comes with me. And, you know, today when we went home before we came down here, she goes, wow, Mom. She goes, now I understand. She goes, it's nice to do things for other kids that don't have anything. I said, I know. And she told me today, believe it or not, it just really made my heart warm up. But she goes, I appreciate everything you do for me. And man, it was a tearjerker, because I do a lot for my daughter as a single mom.
To hear that from your daughter under her own power.
Yeah.
Her own will.
She goes, you buy me everything. She goes, you take care of me. You pick me up and take me to school. And my daughter notices it. My daughter notices that I am that mom that she needs in her life, because I'm doing everything for her. And not just for her, but I'm doing a lot of other things for other kids too. And she sees how beneficial that is. And she wants to be a part of that. So I think that's amazing that my daughter wants to help me alongside of that. And Dr. Silva is my second person. Just when I met him, he was a vibe. Like, that man was, I'm like, that's my vibe right there. He is my dude. Like, I love his wittiness. Like, I love how outgoing he is, how strong he is, how communicative he is. And that's something I definitely do look up to, because a man like that, oh yeah, he's somewhere. He's going everywhere. And that's what I love about him, because he shows me what we need to do, and that we still need to keep going. And I'm glad that I was able to do all of this with him for his foundation, and I'm excited to do this event with him tomorrow. So it's one of those things where I'm like, wow, you know, he really made my ambitious behavior become a disciplined, you know, not just him, but Emma too. They really show me what my discipline is, what my outcomes are. And I'm going to continue to persevere through that, you know, because of both of them. Like, I seen it, and when I said, I can do that, because I can, you know, and Dr. Silva's right, I can do that. And my daughter's the same way. Mom, you can do anything. She goes, you're so strong, you do it all. You're right. I do it all. And I'm going to continue doing it all until the day I leave this earth. Yeah. And I'm going to probably do more of that too in heaven. Like, God's probably going to use me for something good. Yeah. You know, and I can't wait. Like, I know that whatever I'm about to do, I'm excited for it. So I'm ready to just blow this world out of the water and blow everything that I have coming up with the women empowerment events and everything I got going on with generational opportunities and the circle of greatness. And, you know, me, I want the world to know who this goddess is, because I'm not just an ordinary person. Like, and you'll know too when you meet me. So if any of you do meet me, you know, when you do, you'll understand it, because my presence is strong and I make that known. Yeah.
That's very, very well said. Very beautiful. By the way, if you know, there's a friend's application, so you guys got to fill out the application process. I'll look them over and I'll decide who she gets to meet. So
she's already the best friend, so you guys kind of can't be the best friend because he's already in that place. But that's okay.
I've already claimed the throne.
Yeah, he claims it right next to me.
So I would say for me, the most critical person is Coach Jaime Gomez. So here's why, right? Not only did it's kind of weird too, because I've, you know, there's three people that played a major and a critical part of that I always give shout outs to: Danielle Badia, Gerald Hammond, and the late and great Christian Santa Maria. Rest in peace, my brother. Those three played a major part. When I got to Coach Gomez, he's the one that completely changed my life, right? Yeah. He's the one that, again, the very reason why we're talking about the system right now is because of him. Because of what he showed me, what he taught me, the lifestyle, the change, how to do right by the people, how to really cater to the people, and the assets, right? Building those assets, you know, the life insurance, right? Never been a believer in life insurance. Never. I thought it was, when I first heard of it, thought it was bullshit, thought it was a scam, all the stuff you would think, right? But I'll tell you what, when I got involved, and I took it upon myself to really dial in as to what it is that we're doing, or what the hell does this Primerica do? Oh, yeah.
But see, it was
Oh,
beneficial
it
because
is.
it was something that was brought to the table, but it was brought to the table for you to understand what it was for.
It was. And on top of it, because now I have taken that and I've applied it to what I'm doing
To
now.
life.
And so that's why he is the most critical one, because had it not been for that business, had it not been for him, I wouldn't have as much knowledge that I do with a lot of this stuff of recognizing, conducting the business, the brand. Shout out to Be Great. I mean, damn. There's so much of me today that I did not have in that business.
Yep.
The only thing, again, the Be Great. That is the one thing that did come out of the business with me. Obviously, that's my brand. But he really taught us a lot of different values, a lot of different the leadership skills, right? The ownership skills. I know a lot of people don't know this. I know you know this though, but I applied for a Chick-fil-A ownership, right, for the franchise opportunity, and they denied me. So they passed me through the first process. They denied me that second process because I was like, well, I've been a manager, I've never owned anything. So I feel like, again, God has his way, has his plan, right? And shout out to Coach Gomez and Janet, because like I said, just the message, it just really resurrected like a fire, like, damn, like this is what I want to do. This is what I want. I want to be a business owner. I want to learn all of that shit that he just said.
Yep.
Because he'll strike a chord in you.
Yeah.
And you've been to the meetings, so he will strike a chord in a motherfucker.
But it's the truth though, and that's why I said it's important that we meet these people. Anybody, there's people out there for all of you folks too, who you've come in encounters with, and they teach you something. They teach you a lot about yourself. There was a quote that I always see too, constantly out of the books, but it's kind of going back to what you said about how you want to be a business owner and how you wanted to do it with Chick-fil-A, and at that point in time it didn't happen because God had a different plan, and he does. And the quote goes a little something like this: some of the things that you do want in life, you can't have because God doesn't want you to have them right then and there. It wasn't really made for you, right? Yeah. But the things that he does give us, we need it at that point in time. Because
that's it with y'all. That's heavy. I like that.
And it is heavy, and I love the way it's said, because what we do want, we can't have it right now because God's not going to give it to us. And why is that? Because he's protecting us from what is or what's about to become of us, because we don't know what his plan is. Only he knows. And eventually we do know what it is because we're writing that path. And once we write it, we're like, oh, this is what you wanted me to do. Okay, I gained some insight. I know about it. Let's do it. Because now you're more comfortable doing it, right? So that's why it's important for a lot of people to and I think that's why I'm working with so many people now, because the stuff I do want to do, I mean, it's major. And actually Nikki Sworn is another woman I want to give a shout out to, Nikki, because I love this woman. I went and had coffee with her a couple weeks back, and she's brought a lot of insight to me. And she's like, Tab, you need to go join, the Women of Commerce, and you go here. She was giving me, the resources that I needed. And she's right. Not only do I need to hang out with everybody that I am now, but maybe take another step forward into the community.
Absolutely.
And learn women a little bit. And I was like, she's right. Dr. Silva's the same way. And they're right, because how are we going to know what to do if we're not really chained into it? Same thing with like your kids at school, go to some of these PTA meetings and be there for them, be there for the community within your school, and learn what the ins and outs are of the teachers and get to know them. And shout out to Kiwanis, because when I have those meetings with them, they taught me a lot when it came to the schools.
I get the emails from them too, by the way, so shout out to you guys.
Yeah. And, so those are just things to look at, and I think that's a major asset for everybody to know right now here today as I'm speaking upon it. Whoever you come encounter with, they have something specific for you. And there's a reason why you're crossing paths with that person. And I've made that known to everybody who knows me, and I will say it right now. You cross paths with people for a reason. It's not by accident. It is not by an accident.
It's not. God
intended for you to meet that person at that moment in time.
It's just, it's really up to us how much we maximize and how much we take out of it, So I will give you the last word here, because I do want to end this message, but I do want to say, in order for us to really change this dynamic of the system, People got to learn the influences. That's the very first thing that I believe. Learn the influences. What is it? And then here's the thing that I want to make clear to the people. What is it you want to do? If you can get paid, if you could wake up and say, I would love to get paid to do this, what would that be? Because, see this arm? It's an arm's length away. That's it. There's a world out there. There's a world full of entrepreneurs. There's a world full of people that are ready to invest their money. There's a world full of people that are ready to network with you, ready to give you the peace of mind, ready to take your peace of mind. And how badass is that for a millionaire to want to go to somebody and want their peace of mind? A millionaire. They're a millionaire for a reason, right? The mindset takes you further than the heart ever will. So it's their mindset. So learn the influences. I do want to tell people, learn the influences. Learn your struggles. Learn what it is that's going to keep you doing this. You don't want to do the same routine. Break the routine. Get after it. Work hard. Have a positive attitude. That's probably the biggest thing. Have a positive attitude, because if you do not, all it takes is one conversation to either make you that fortune, or for somebody to say, like myself, if somebody has a bad attitude, I'm be like, nah, fuck that. Nah, because you and I both know we do not fuck with people that have those types of attitudes. Nah,
you're gonna stay stagnant, and you're just gonna be.
You're gonna stay stagnant.
You're not gonna go nowhere.
Yep.
And if that's where you want to be, and you want to be in that hole, then, go for it. Be in that hole.
But
I want to move mountains.
And I'll give this as an example, and then I'll turn it over to you, because the people have heard me talk about this before, but I'm gonna say it again, right? We went out to New Orleans. We went out there. Shout out to Jex, who performed for the radio station, out for the Super Bowl. We met a gentleman. I started talking to him. Random conversation, just networking, doing my thing, positive attitude, everything, right? Everything I just explained, I did all of that, just being myself. Well, turns out, executive for Cash Money.
Yep.
Wanted to work with us, gave us a massive business plan on the spot, what he charges $3,000 for, and literally gave us his blueprint.
Yeah.
A Cash Money executive. Folks,
and how we got to
you never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're talking to. I promise you. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Tab, go ahead and give your last thoughts. And
well, once again, thank you for having me. It's an honor being on the show with you and doing this with you and talking about what I believe in.
Appreciate you.
I'm very grateful that I was able to get that off my chest today with everybody listening in on my conversation. But no, I agree with you. I think the system is, the justice system, everything. It is corrupt, but like he said earlier to all of you, everybody out there, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? Because whatever it is, and like I told you earlier, you're out there. You are an asset to this world. You're an asset to everything that you want to do. And if you believe that you can do it, you can do it. Use us. Network with us. Network with people. Network with events. Go places. One thing that you should be doing once a month, and I recommend this to everybody, sign up for something different. Whether that's going and signing up for an improv comedy or signing up to do a podcast. I'm doing it, and I'm here even though I'm scared to do it. I'm doing it because it's very resourceful. You have no idea who you're going to run into. But you're out there, you're listening, and you're watching this. And I know that you're important, but you're important for something. And it's something you believe in. What is it going to be? Bring it to the table and bring it to Derek. Come here, talk about it. Let the world see it.
Hey, it's time to peel back the greatness. Tab, I appreciate you as always. Yeet! Love y'all.